Greetings! This is GGN3, and today I'll be presenting to you my top 10 choices for anime titles I think should be licensed here in the good old US of A. Before I start, let me warn people that I'm not going to appreciate comments from those who hate wanting their favorite anime titles to get licensed. If I see any sort of bashing like that in my comments for this video, then you're gonna immediately see your comment get deleted. And now, on to the top 10. My number 10 choice is Higurashi no Nakukoro ni Kai. It's the sequel to the first season of the series, based on the mystery horror video game series. Seeing as the final volume was recently released here in America, considering the popularity of the series, I think that the sequel deserves a shot at being licensed as well. Number 9 on my list goes to F, A Tale of Memories. This dating sim-based anime title has gotten a good following from fans for its avant-garde artwork and storytelling style, and its psychological focus on characters. Considering the following that it's received from fans, both in forums and blogs, I think that this is another title that's worth bringing over here to the States. Number 8 goes to Minami-ke. This was quite a surprise hit in 2007, and it pretty much has an episodic humor approach, much like Asamega Dio, focused on the personality quirks of the three Minami sisters and their classmates. Considering the humor of the series being much like Asamega Dio, it would be kind of fun to see how folks would react to it. Number 7 on my list goes to Banner of the Stars 3. This is the fourth and final installment of the sci-fi space opera series, focused around the Ob Empire and its two main protagonists, Raphael and Jinto Lin. Considering that there is a decent fan following for the Stars anime saga, I do think that it would be right for Bandai to offer a decent conclusion to it than just leaving things off with Banner of the Stars 2, which was the last release of the Stars anime saga released here in America. Number 6 goes to the romantic comedy Wreck. The format for this series is kind of unconventional, as there are only 9 episodes within the series, and each episode only runs for just under 15 minutes. But within its length, it does get a good mix of comedy and drama, with the relationship that eventually forms between the two main characters. Considering that there is some support for the series, I do think it's worth an effort to see what kind of reaction it gets from fans here in the US. As it is, despite being short, it does make for a nice, quick watch. Number 5 on my list goes to Koronai. This got a good fan following back in 2008. It has a nice mix of action, comedy, and drama, focused on the bond between Murasaki and her guardian, Koronai. You get good character chemistry between the two, with Murasaki adjusting to living a normal life away from her high-class lifestyle, and the action comes from what you see later in the series. Considering the fan following of the series, I do think it could have a decent shot at being licensed at some point in the near future. Number 4 on my list goes to Looking Up at the Half Moon. This was a surprise for me to see, as it was the first title I seen in 2006, and it only ran for about 6 episodes on TV. But regardless, made for a good watch. It's a hospital drama focused around Yuichi deciding whether or not he wants to commit to a relationship with a girl named Rika, who is dying of a terminal heart valve illness. It doesn't have as much of a fan following as most other titles that I'll talk about, but considering how incredible the relationship is, I would like to see it get licensing. And now for the top 3. These 3 titles I'd like to see get licensed have gotten quite a bit of talk in anime forums and blogs throughout the internet. Yet still, companies have not licensed them since each of these titles' completion. Number 3 goes to minami-ke, one of my top favorite titles for 2007. It's a josei romantic comedy focused on Shinichi Chiaki and his growing bond with the unusual yet talented piano student Megumi Noda. Its comedy comes off all the personality quirks of the characters, and the manga is even licensed here in the States. And despite it still getting a great amount of talk by fans, it's not licensed. And considering that josei anime titles like Nana, Paradise Kiss, and Honey and Clover have been licensed already here in America, I'm kind of surprised that no one's been willing to pick up minami-ke yet. Number 2 on my list goes to Den-O Coil. This was one of the top 2007 anime titles that have been raved about by fans and critics. You can think of it as Serial Experiments Light and Light, as it focuses on a bunch of 6th graders and their use of goggles called Den-O glasses that allow them to interact with the virtual world. And considering its popularity among fans throughout the internet, I'm kind of surprised also that no one has been able to pick up Den-O Coil, as it, alongside Gurren Lagann, got a great amount of praise from fans. And the number 1 anime title I'd like to see get licensed here in the States, which I'm surprised hasn't been picked up by any distributor yet, is Monster. Let's see. It's raved about by fans, it got good credentials by critics, the manga's licensed here by Viz Media, the anime first aired nearly 5 years ago, and no licensor has picked it up yet. This one I'm kind of surprised about. It's a mystery thriller title, much in the same way as Death Note, and it focuses around a serial murderer who is toying around with the man who is trying to apprehend him, who, coincidentally enough, saved his life. You gotta love this one, and yet I'm very surprised no one's picked it up. And this completes my top 10 list of anime titles I'd like to see get licensed in America. Granted, there's some titles like Wreck and Lucky Up at the Half Moon where there's no way in hell they'll ever be licensed due to the lack of popularity, but those that do deserve their licensing, like minami-ke and Monster, I'm very surprised haven't been picked up yet for licensing. And I'm hoping that this video will give enough awareness to licensors that there are still titles out there that fans would like to see get licensed in the near future. In any event, here's GGN3 signing off.